In King Ovula's palace lived two queens who are both carrying the long-awaited heir to the throne. But when the two women give birth at the same time, only one question remains. Who is the rightful heir? The head midwife Ojamalia was in her house attending to her pregnant sister-in-law when two palace guards knocked on her door.
The queens are not feeling fine. The king needs you in the palace immediately. Please do not delay.
Ojama hurried to the palace immediately. Aside from being a midwife, she was the only healer who was allowed to come close to the king's wives. When she got to the palace that morning, she hurried to Queen Adesira's quarters because she was the first wife. After checking Adesira for a few minutes, she noticed something unusual. Something had changed in the queen's body.
My queen, there is good news. There is good news.
Ojamalia quickly headed to Queen Nesira's quarters. Queen Nesira saw the smile on her face and asked, "What's the reason for your smile?" "It's nothing, my queen," Ojamalia answered. After checking Queen Nesira for a while, Ojamalia gasped. "This can't be. What is the problem?" Nesira asked.
My queen, there is good news. There is good news.
Ojamalia quickly headed to the king to deliver the good news. After 5 good years, "I can't believe this is happening," Ojama muttered to herself.
Long live the king, my king, there is good news. The gods have finally answered your prayers.
What is the good news?
"My king, your two wives are pregnant," Ojama announced as she broke down in tears.
My wives are what?
Yes, your wives are pregnant. The gods have finally answered your prayers.
King Oluvar rushed down to Adesira's quarters immediately. When he got there, Adesira was already shedding tears of joy.
My lord, your heir is on the way.
Oluvar also went to visit his second wife, Nesira. Nesira held his hands and said, "I told you to wait a little longer." Years ago, after King Oluvar married Adesira, he strongly believed she would give birth immediately because she was pure. But after a year, Oluvar became very worried. One night, Adesira approached him and suggested, "My king, I think you should take a second wife. You don't have to keep waiting for me."
Thank you for not being selfish.
King Oluvar, being a desperate man, quickly married a second wife, and that was how Nesira came into the picture. She immediately became the king's favorite wife. Sometimes, King Oluvar even forgot he had another wife whenever he was with Nesira. They spent all day talking and dreaming about their future together. But Nesira didn't solve the problem. After a year, King Oluvar sought to take a third wife. But Nesira, being a jealous and selfish woman, convinced him not to. She begged him to wait a little longer, and he agreed.
I'm happy I listened to you, and I'm sure you are carrying my son.
But something bothered him greatly. He never expected his two wives to get pregnant at the same time. How would he choose his heir? And what if they give birth the same day and at the same time? The custom of the village was different. The child from the first wife doesn't automatically become the heir.
Gods of my father, please give me wisdom to handle this situation.
After that day, everything in the palace changed. The king summoned all the workers and gave them strict instructions.
My 2 wives must be taken care of. Everything they need must be provided. The guards, the cook, their personal assistant, all of you must work together to ensure their safe delivery.
The game had just begun, because in this story, we have a silent snake and a pampered lioness. Let's see who wins the game. Queen Adesira and Queen Nesira had always been silent rivals. Since the king's attention shifted to Nesira, Adesira had developed jealousy towards her, but she was mature enough not to show it. Nesira, on the other hand, was loud and never failed to tell everyone she was the king's favorite. If not for me, the king would have married 10 wives by now. So thank you, stars, that I'm in this house. Nesira boasted one morning during their argument. Queen Adesira saw this pregnancy as an opportunity to regain her place in the king's heart, and so she must do anything to give birth first. One night, while Adesira's pregnancy was 5 months, she left the palace with her personal assistant, Shima.
My queen, don't worry, everything will be fine. I know, but I can't just sit silent. My life depends on this pregnancy. Nothing must go wrong.
Adesira stopped at Ojamalia's house and knocked on the door.
My queen, what brings you to my house? Please come in. Ojama, you know I have been very good to you. I need to know the gender of my baby, and more importantly, I need a favor from you.
The queen lay down and Ojama started checking her stomach. After several minutes, Ojama smiled. My queen, you are having a baby boy.
The gods must be praised. Now let me see who will challenge me. My queen, what is the result? Congratulations to us. I'm having a baby boy.
Queen Nesira, on the other hand, wasn't relaxed. 2 nights earlier, she had journeyed down to see her mother. Her mother invited one of her friends, who was also a midwife. After checking Adesira properly, the midwife delivered the results. After that visit, everything about Nesira changed. She became restless and more desperate to find out the gender of Adesira's baby before making her next move. But first, she pleaded with the king to change her midwife. She wanted someone close to her to be by her side. The king wasn't comfortable with the idea, but he couldn't say no to her. So from that day, Ojamalia only attended to Queen Adesira. One morning, Nesira called her personal assistant Eno and gave an important assignment. Eno, who was very rude to all the staff in the palace, suddenly became nice. One morning, she approached Shima and offered to help her with her morning chores. Shima immediately sensed that something was wrong because both of them were like a cat and a rat. But Shima decided to play along. As they washed the queen's clothes together, Eno started asking questions. She sounded like someone searching for something, and Shima noticed it.
Who do you think will give the king a son? Well, I don't really know, but I pray my queen gives birth to a male child. She is the first wife. Speaking about a male child, has your queen checked for the gender of her baby?
I don't really know. Even though I'm a personal assistant, she doesn't tell me everything. But there was a day she came back looking very sad. Maybe she checked and she found that she was having a baby girl, Shima said. Immediately, Eno gave a wicked smile. Well, my queen doesn't need to check. I know she's having a male child. Don't rejoice too soon. You will find out in a few months' time, Shima replied. After Eno left, Shima laughed and muttered to herself, "Look at this one. You think you can deceive me. I know why you are here, and I will keep feeding you with false information until you fall into a pit." In the 9th month, the tension in the palace grew heavier. One night, Queen Adesira invited Ojamalia to her room. She reminded her again of how she has been kind to her and her family. My queen, you don't need to repeat yourself. I love and respect you, but my loyalty in this situation is to the king.
But what if I give you something? Something the king can never
Then she
give you.
opened a big wooden chest filled with real gold and cowries.
This will be all yours if you just do what I want. It's not that hard.
My queen, you are putting me in a tight corner. But I will try.
Nesira, on the other hand, visited an old friend. Why do you want to see me after everything you did? You know it wasn't my fault, Bala. Please try to understand. You know what? I have a special offer for you. What? You can't be serious. No, you can't be serious. I can never do such a thing. That's an abomination. I know it's an abomination. That's why I'm paying you for it. Nesira opened a golden chest, and the moment Bala saw it, his expression changed. This is a tough one, but I will try. But unknown to them, Shima had seen everything. Even though she didn't hear their conversations, she knew they were planning something. She went home that day and told Queen Adesira everything. I trust Nesira. I know she's cooking something, but may the best chef win. Weeks later, Queen Adesira began showing signs of labor. She quickly sent for Ojamalia. Nesira, on the other hand, heard the news and began to panic. She wasn't feeling any signs of labor. In fact, she was perfectly fine. And so, she did something desperate people always do. She took out the green liquid her mother had given her and drank it. A few hours later, her contractions began. By the time Ojamalia arrived, Queen Adesira was already in labor. She quickly prepared everything the midwives needed. Her job that day was to supervise both queens and announce which one gave birth first. In the hallway, King Oluvar paced back and forth. He prayed quietly to have healthy babies and, most importantly, for his wives not to give birth at the same time. Behind the closed doors, the two wives battled. Queen Adesira pushed hard, knowing that her place in the king's heart was at stake. Nesira also pushed hard to secure her spot. Both women had one goal. Ojama, the head wife, ran back and forth between the rooms. Shima and Eno stood outside, praying for their queens. Hours later, the first victory was won inside Adesira's chamber. Adesira finally pushed out her baby. But before she gave birth, Ojamali had already announced that Queen Adesira had given birth. But the moment she stepped out to make that announcement, one of the midwives attending to Queen Nesira also came out to make the same announcement. Ojamalia became afraid and ran inside quickly. She took over from the midwives and delivered the baby before anyone could suspect foul play. The moment the baby came out, Ojamalia's stomach dropped. The boy was completely silent. He didn't cry or breathe. Ojamalia quickly started patting his back and clearing his small airway. Just 2 minutes later, the baby gave out a loud scream. Meanwhile, Nesira's baby had already been crying, but luckily for Ojamalia and Queen Adesira, no one noticed anything. The next morning, both women stood before the king, claiming to have given birth first. "Silent," the king commanded. "Ojamalia, I need you to tell me the truth. Which of my wives gave birth first?" Ojamalia cleared her throat and spoke out boldly. "My king, I attended more to Queen Adesira because Queen Nesira didn't want me close. By the time I came out to announce Queen Adesira's delivery, another midwife also came out to announce for Queen Nesira. In conclusion, both women gave birth at the same time." The king took a deep breath.
I know what to do. For there to be peace. I will choose the heir to my throne when my 2 sons turn 20. I will watch them closely and decide who the rightful heir is.
The 2 queens left happily. They were satisfied with the king's judgment, but the battle line had just been drawn. As our elders wisely say, a roaring lion and a silent snake are both deadly, but only time will tell which one truly owns the jungle. Watch out for the next chapter.